Well, Jacelle and I have been in this for a real long time. So, and it's a lot of stuff like you guys are seeing this season where, the whole world wasn't privy to, some of the stuff that Jacelle and I was going through, like, or the times we separated or that we were broke up. Even while we were engaged or even while I was still wearing my ring, we had moments where it just was like not happening. But and things happened during those times when we weren't together.
So, it seemed like young Jock and Kendra had finally reached a peaceful point in their relationship. They had been through a lot of drama in the past, but it looked like they were starting to get it together. But just when people thought the worst was behind them, the truth came to light, and it was messier than anyone expected. One evening, an explosive argument erupted in public, and it was like nothing anyone had seen before. Jock, known for his past relationships and a reputation that wasn't the best, completely lost it. People watched in shock as the fight escalated quickly. Voices were raised, accusations flew, and Kendra dropped a bombshell that left everyone gasping. But what made this situation even crazier was the fact that there was actual evidence. This wasn't just some regular argument, it was something much deeper. Something that exposed a betrayal that hurt Jock more than anyone realized. Jock wasn't just angry, he was humiliated.
It's hard living this life.
No, it really is. So I just got a text from my wife. She's it's a text to me and her mom. She said, I'm divorcing Jacelle, mom. A blog has accused him of cheating on me, so I'm done. Like, that's what I'm dealing with in real life. Like, in real life, see what it says? Yep, the girl who used to work for him. So this is what I'm really dealing with. And that's I'm gonna be as transparent as I could be, because this is what happens when you play like this. You play on people's lives, you play on whatever they may be dealing with, and they have to deal with real circumstances. So this is what I'm dealing with this morning. Yeah.
And the reason behind it all? A name no one saw coming. It all went down at a high-end lounge in Atlanta, and the people there witnessed it firsthand. From the start, Jock and Kendra's relationship had always been a rocky one. It was clear to anyone watching that they were never going to be the couple with the perfect story. When they first got together, people were already talking. Jock's reputation as a guy who loved to flirt and was involved with multiple women was well known, and it didn't make Kendra's life any easier. Sure, she stood by him, but she had to know what she was getting into, right? Their relationship had been like a roller coaster, full of cheating rumors, public fights, and moments that made people wonder why they even stayed together. There had been a time when Jock was caught in some compromising situations with other women. Kendra had forgiven him, or at least that's what she wanted everyone to believe. But even when the cameras were off, the whispers of broken trust never really went away. Recently, people started to notice things were feeling off between them again. There was talk that Kendra was questioning Jock's loyalty once more. This time, it wasn't just about another random woman. There were bigger...
Because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too. Because guess what? Let me tell you something. I didn't go to college. Guess what? I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that right now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too. Right. But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, oh, I wouldn't want my son or your sons to be like you. Hold on. No, we gotta you gonna put some respect on my name. Because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids. Okay. Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. Okay. So we're gonna do that. Okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I could say I wouldn't want my daughters to do.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do that. I respect you and I love you enough.
I want this magazine to know
I
what
respect
it is about
integrity.
me. You don't want your daughters.
I'm not gonna do that.
Like,
I'm not gonna do that.
Be my guest.
I'm not gonna
be slighted, honey.
I'm not gonna do that. That's where we have to draw the line.
Concerns. People close to the couple could sense the tension building. It seemed like something was about to explode. Then there was Scrappy, Jock's longtime friend. The two of them had been through a lot together, and had always been there for each other no matter what drama was going on. So, when things started to feel shaky between Jock and Kendra, nobody expected Scrappy to get involved. But then something happened that no one could have predicted. The scene played out at a lounge in Atlanta. According to witnesses, Jock and Kendra walked in together, but the mood between them was anything but relaxed. Kendra seemed irritated, and Jock appeared stressed out. It wasn't a casual night out. This was clearly going to be something big. The tension in the air was thick, and anyone who looked at them could feel it. And then, in the middle of the lounge,
So it's your father losing his multi-million-dollar business for another. You checking on him. You ain't checking on me.
Hold on, let me talk.
But you checking on.
Let me talk.
Man, sick of this.
suddenly yelled, "You're a joke! That's why he's better than you." When those words left her mouth, the whole place went quiet. Everyone turned to see how Jock would react. And boy, it wasn't pretty. Jock exploded. Tables flew, glasses shattered, and the crowd went into chaos. Phones came out, capturing every moment. Jock was shouting at the top of his lungs while security rushed in. But Kendra? She stood there looking cool and calm, almost like she had planned it all along. That's what really set Jock off. She didn't even try to hide what she had just done. It was clear she wanted to embarrass him in front of everyone, and that's exactly what she did. Security had to step in and try to separate them before things got even worse. But by that time, everyone in the lounge knew something serious had just been exposed. The argument wasn't about some random misunderstanding. It was about something deeper. The real shocker? It wasn't just the fight that made everyone's jaws drop. It was what came next. Just as security was dragging Jock away, someone else walked into the lounge, Scrappy. And when Jock saw him, everything clicked. The look on his face said it all. It hit him hard. It's him. You've been sleeping with Scrappy. The entire room went completely silent. Scrappy looked completely caught off guard, like a deer in headlights. And Kendra? Instead of denying it or getting defensive, she just smiled a knowing, smug smile. It was the kind of smile that said, "You got it." And just like that, the truth was out. The internet immediately went wild. Videos of the fight flooded social media, and people couldn't get enough of the drama. Everyone was dissecting every part of the argument, analyzing Jock's humiliation, Kendra's boldness, and Scrappy's guilt. It was like a soap opera unfolding in real life, and the world was watching. But just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, things took another turn. As if things weren't already bad enough, Kendra and Scrappy were spotted together later that same night. They were seen out in Atlanta, walking around like nothing had happened, no shame, no remorse. They were completely unbothered by the chaos they had just caused. It was like they didn't care who knew the truth. Jock, on the other hand, was left picking up the pieces of his shattered pride. The internet couldn't stop talking about the situation. People were divided. Some found the whole thing hilarious, cracking jokes about how Jock had been played. Others were shocked by how bold Kendra had been, some even calling it one of the most disrespectful breakups of the year. And there were those who had warned Jock about Kendra from the beginning, sitting back with smug, "I told you so" comments. But one thing was clear, this trauma was far from over. The story kept unfolding, and people were glued to their screens, waiting to see what would happen next. What started as just another public argument turned into something much bigger. The betrayal was deep, and it was clear that the relationship between Jock, Kendra, and Scrappy would never be the same again. In the end, everyone learned the hard way that sometimes the truth is messier than anyone could have imagined. Let's break this whole situation down, shall we? First of all, Kendra is out here wearing Jock's chain. And let's just take a moment to really digest what that means. Not only did she betray Jock in the most public way possible, but now she's flaunting the very jewelry that Jock probably bought for her. This is next-level disrespect, and you can't help but wonder if Jock is just sitting back, taking it. But no, back at home, Jock was far from chill. Reports say he was pacing around, throwing his phone and muttering to himself in frustration. Can you blame him? He just got publicly humiliated, and it seems like everything is falling apart. The entire world watched as he took this massive hit, and now his so-called longtime friend Scrappy is out here living it up, likely on the same dime Jock had been funding. To say Jock was upset would be an understatement. But here's the thing, Jock is not the type to just sit back and take this. He had a plan, and if Kendra and Scrappy thought Jock was going to cry about it and move on, they had another thing coming. First move, cutting Kendra off financially. Jock had been supporting her with various business ventures and making sure she was financially secure. But now, that gravy train, it's come to a screeching halt. Word on the street is that Jock is removing her from everything that's tied to his name, shutting down all financial support. And Scrappy? Well, he got cut off too. Jock had been working with Scrappy on music projects and offering him business opportunities. Not anymore. Jock made sure to pull the plug on everything, leaving Scrappy scrambling to figure out his next move. But the mess doesn't stop there. Kendra apparently left a trail of chaos behind her. Jock's legal team is now investigating her financial records, and guess what they've uncovered? Allegedly, Kendra had been spending Jock's money on luxury vacations she was taking with none other than Scrappy. While Jock thought he was funding their lifestyle, Kendra was out there sipping cocktails with his supposed friend. At this point, the betrayal is starting to look even worse. Rumors are swirling that Jock might take this to court, possibly for emotional distress. Honestly, with everything he's been through, no one would blame him if he did. The humiliation is off the charts. Now, if you thought Kendra and Scrappy might feel bad about all of this, think again. Less than 24 hours after the whole scandal broke, Kendra posted a black screen on her Instagram story with the words, "Excuse me." You know exactly what she's doing there. She's not sorry, not in the slightest. And Scrappy didn't stay silent either. He posted a selfie with a smirk on his face and the caption, "Loyalty is everything." Fans were furious. Social media was flooded with people calling Scrappy a snake and Kendra a mastermind. One person wrote, "Kendra really played the long game on Jock. She stayed quiet through all his mess just to turn around and do this? Nah, that's next level petty." Another added, "Scrappy's been shady for a while, but to do this to his own friend? That's straight up betrayal. Jock might be messy, but he didn't deserve this." But here's the big question. Was this just a fling, or has Kendra been playing Jock all along? Just when people thought this whole situation had hit its peak, an anonymous source dropped some bombshells. Alleged screenshots of text messages between Kendra and Scrappy started circulating. And let's just say these texts didn't paint a picture of a one-time mistake. No, these messages suggest that their affair had been going on for months. We're talking secret meetups, late-night texts, and even plans to be together long before the drama between Kendra